to get the night started. Downfield looking for Godwin. Into his hands. And guess which dogs are barking first? Uga, get after it.
Chubb scored a touchdown earlier on a direct snap. Now it's Michelle's turn, running all the way. Gets to the edge. Tony Michelle will send the Dogs home to the championship game.
And Bobo throws that thing in the end zone and...
Yes! Touchdown! Touchdown in the goal line!
Cambiando estaba Billingsley. Interceptado. Y a ver hasta dónde lo puede devolver. Es Kelly Ringo. Sigue Ringo. Corta adentro. Ringo. Touchdown. Georgia.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Robert Iron E. Singleton, a.k.a. D-Dog from The Walking Dead, or Alton from The Blind Side. Also the former DB turned running back for the University of Georgia. And you are watching Respect the Hedges on the Fan Addict Sports Network. All right, guys, go Dogs. Sick 'em.
What's up, Dog Nation? Welcome into another episode of Respect the Hedges, man. Always presented by the Tailgate Kings. We're back up in here to talk some more dog football, man. You know what it is. It's Trade School Hate Week. That's right. It's Trade School Hate Week this week, man. We're coming off a fresh win. Kentucky. It was ugly, but we got the win. We ain't going to waste no time. We're going to bring the boys back in here. First guy up, man. Hey, it's our starting DB. He was dressed for the travel last week, but he didn't get in the game, man. But, hey, he back. He's starting again. He going to bring that energy. We're talking about my man, E-Rob. What's going on, E-Rob?
Coach, what's up, baby? Yeah, man, another week, another Dogs victory. We still undefeated. You know, that's what we're here to do. That's what it's all about. Yeah, so I did miss the show last week. So you can kind of say I slept walk through last week. That's kind of what the Dogs did. They slept walk through that game. But, you know, if you look across the landscape of college last week, it was just one of those weeks. It was a melancholy week. Almost pretty much all of the top 14 struggled. So, you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's one of those survive in advance. We did that. Now it's about 4 games. 4 games. Georgia Tech about to catch a beat down, and then it's whatever after that. Go Dogs.
There it is, man. And he held it down for us last week in that opening spot, man, as the tight ends have been doing this year, actually, and last year. We talking about JB. What's going on, JB?
What's going on, Coach? What's going on, E? E, great to have you back. Missed your energy, brother, but I felt it through the airwaves. I'm telling you this, guys. We ain't going to spend a whole lot of time this evening talking about a school that has no direction. That's the direction of school. What we want to talk about are the Dogs and how we're going to move on to bigger and greater things. And those bigger, greater things is going to mean a lot of payback in this SEC championship game because we remember 2019, fellas. Let's go.
That's right, man. Hey, man, we bringing up, our 2-sport athlete along with E-Rob, man. We talking about Shouty, man, Thad Parker. What's going on, Shouty?
Fellas, what's happening?
Shouty.
Always good to be back, man. Always good to be back. Once again, Georgia Tech Hate Week. Not much to say about them, man. You know, it's always a blessing around this time to get to eat good, see the family, beat up on Georgia Tech. You know what I'm saying? Those one of the three things you can always, have a great waiting for, man. So I'm happy for it, man. I just, I like beating up on these guys, man. Let's go, man. Let's get it.
That's right, man. And of course, now for the coolest fan in the land, man, Cool Cal. What's going on, Cool Cal?
Bruh, that's how I felt Saturday. Like y'all said with that Kentucky game, that shit put me to sleep. It was just a basic performance. Like you said, man, we need to just go ahead and just move on to this week. You know what I'm saying? The Yellow Jackets coming on down the road. They just had a big victory. They're going to be happy. Let's send them back home. Let's send them back home the right way.
That's right, man. Hey, our guy CA going to be joining us a little bit later. We're going to go ahead and bring our special guest on, man. Hey, we felt like it was a little offensive, prowess going on with all the guests, man. And so DBU needed some love, you know what I'm saying? E-Rob needed somebody, so we had to go get somebody special, man. One of the guys that was so solid at the safety position, man. We talking about former UGA Safety, man. Hey, and he moved on being a strength and conditioning coach under Rick, man. The dude just knew how to do it all. We talking about Kelin Johnson. What's going on, Kelin?
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing?
Good. What's up, man?
What's up, Keith?
Salute, man. Glad to have you on the show.
We appreciate you, man. Anytime. It's always good to come on and talk a little football with the OGs. You know what I mean? Much respect to y'all and what y'all doing.
Oh, you ain't got to be aged.
Hey, Keelan had to let everybody know he's still young and spry, baby.
No, hey, it ain't every day you get a phone call to come on and talk a little bit about Georgia football, man. So, I definitely had to accept the invitation, man. I see what you guys doing every week. It's always good to get a different perspective, man, because you know how that the media can be. They so biased and they don't want to really talk about the real truth sometimes. So, it's always good to let your hair back. You don't have to be so political correct all the time and just have some fun like we in the locker room. So I couldn't miss this opportunity.
That's right, man. We appreciate you coming on, man.
Baby. Spoken like a true DB, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
He don't know how to. Hey, he don't know how to add. He got he got his safety back up over the top. He can play tight man again.
Let's go.
Hey, all right, man. We're gonna say what's up to some of these dogs. Go ahead, Kelin.
Now, you talk about the covers. It's too deep, man, under the right now tonight, baby. So what y'all gonna do? What y'all tight ends gonna do?
We take it down the seam, baby. We like to go right down the
Oh man, what's going on, Terrell? Terrell say go Dogs, and of course Shelby in the house. She already with the pettiness. She don't even care. She said Tech wins every 15 years or so. Can we call it a rivalry? Hey man, it's in state. It's down the street. So hey, I guess that's as much as we can do. We can still call it. We can call it a proximity rivalry. How about that?
Hey man, let me tell you something. Shelby woke up this morning about 6 o'clock being petty.
Yeah, that was she woke up and chose petty every morning.
Hey, Trevor's in the building. What's going on, Trevor's? Hey, ATL in 2022 in the building. Hey, man, you stateside tonight or what's up? Are you in Germany? I know he be traveling. I think he's a military dog. What's going on, man?
Much respect.
Yeah, Roderick in the building. He said, let's go Rec Tech. That's right, man. That's what it is. Hey, just got to keep on beating up on little brother like we do, man. That's what we do. All right, man, we're going to jump into this. Cool Cow gave us a scintillating start bench cut this week involving one of our own. As a matter of fact, he's got his I'm gonna leave him backstage so he can listen to it. CA's got his stuff together, but because he is involved in this start bench cut. This start bench cut is best moments in UGA history, man. We got the catch by CA in 1997 to win the game against Georgia Tech. We got the same year, 1997, when we went down and beat Florida when they was 20-point favorites, and we beat them by 20. And we got the hobnail boot. All right, since you got your man over the top and you can play a little press man, E-Rob, you up first, dog. Who you starting? I mean, which event are you starting? Which event are you cutting? And which one are you benching?
Damn, boy. Damn, Keel, I wish you weren't on this week, boy. I do not want to go first right now, bro. I'm trying to tell you, boy. You done messed me up, bro. Wow. Woo. I mean, these are all some big-time moments, man. All right, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go with this. Since it's hate week, and and he's an alumni of the show. I'm starting CA making that catch in 97 against Georgia Tech because we cannot lose to them bums, them nerds, and he made sure that didn't happen. So I'm going with that. Second, I'm going to go with the hobnail boot. That's what's going to be on the bench because I remember jumping up off my couch when we beat Tennessee and that great call. I'll never forget it. So I'm going to go with that. And beating Florida, I hate to cut it, but I'm going to cut it because we should be beating Florida. And I just, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even going to give them that kind of credit. So they always going to get cut. Anything that mentions Florida is cut. Next.
All right, there it is. Kelin, what you got on it, man? Which event you starting, which one you cutting, and which one you bitching?
Oh,
see,
man.
DB.
Shoot. It's some good plays. Hey, this some good plays, but I'm gonna keep it. I'm gonna keep it a little original for y'all, man. I can't stand Florida at all. I'm from FLA. You know what I mean? I felt like they gave me no love whatsoever coming out of school. Hey, I don't regret not one minute of it. But shoot, hey, that's my number one. I just feel like anytime we get a chance to, beat Florida, rub it in their face, it's always a good time from a personal level. I would say, what I'm keeping, I think number two is going to be hot nail boot for me, man. I think, that right there was just one of the most classiest calls. I think the call itself was just, one of the most calls that we ever had at University of Georgia, and it was right on time. So, and, of course, with the Larry Munson voice to back it up, man, I think, that's just legendary. And then last but not least, the CA, man, I'm tossing that one.
All right, JV, what you got on it, dog? Starting, benching, and cutting.
Man. So I'm going to have to run with CA as my starter, beating Georgia Tech in the back of the end zone, then stomping on the dude's head. I personally appreciated that because I don't like Georgia Tech more than I don't like anybody else, period. Right? So I'm going to have to start them. I appreciate CA for showing me during my freshman year what it felt like and what it meant to really take them to task. So I appreciated that. I'm going to definitely have to run with the hobnail boot call second because, man, that was so dope. It was such a great call, and it went to one of my favorite cats on earth, man, Veron Haynes from David Green. It was just like Kelin said, man, it was a classic, one of the classics ever. That hobnail boot call by Larry Munson will live forever. And then I'm going to have to cut Florida, man. I know we beat them in 97. It was an upset. But those other two just hold more of a special place for me than the Florida call did.
I got you. Thad, what's going on, dog? Who you starting, who you benching, and who you cutting?
Man, I've been sitting back here thinking, and it's crazy, especially the guys that I played with. They know how much this game was, it meant so much on a whole different level other than football, not to go too deep into it. But I'm going to have to bench the 97 game. Although it was a great game, I think it was, kind of piggyback off what KJ said earlier, this was anytime you can beat Florida. And then at this particular time, Florida had been, beating the shit out of us. I mean, they came to Georgia and ran through us and, the Spurrier and all those guys he had. So that was a big changing point. So it was great to go down there and beat those guys. I think we had on, if I'm right, did we wear the black pants?
I think so, yeah. At 97 at Florida, we wore the black pants.
So that was cool. But I'm going to have to put that on the bench. And just to piggyback off with some of the other guys, I'm going to have to cut them and to put on the bench once again to piggyback off with some of the other guys that I've said. I mean, the hobnail boot call, it's just one of the greatest calls in UGA history. I mean, you cannot, be a Georgia fan or know anything about Georgia history and not know that call. And it was just a special play. It was a great win. It was at home, so we love all that. With that being said, it's only appropriate with my boy CA fellow wide out doing our thing. Georgia Tech hate. So anything else would be civilized. You know what I'm saying? Big play C. I'm gonna go with that.
There it is. Cool Cow. This is your star bench cut, dog. Which one you going with?
I like it, man. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, man. All you guys had some really compelling arguments for each of them. So when I first started out real quick, man, to come up with it, I was trying to actually come up with a Georgia Tech theme for Hate Week, obviously. But the one thing that kept coming back, everybody was like, Jasper Saints fumble, not fumble. I was like, man, we need a little something a little more positive for hate week. But that was one thing that stuck out to everybody. So I had to switch it up a little bit. But I'm gonna go with what you guys said, man. Listen, man, that CA catch, and the question I gotta ask him is, I'm starting him, but what did CA do that night in Atlanta? That's what I want to know. Where was he hanging out at? Because I know that was a night that night. But anyway, hopefully he can come on the show and talk about that a little bit. But yeah, so I'm gonna start my boy CA, man. I remember, man, that was a awesome catch. It was a huge catch. It was just something that, you know what I'm saying, that I always remember it. And actually all these games I remember. The next game I'm gonna put on the bench is the hobnail boot. At the time I was living in Memphis and I was in a bar full of volunteer fans. I was in there. When we scored that touchdown, I went crazy. The bar went quiet. I got a little nervous in there because I was in Memphis. You gotta remember that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm in there talking trash, but you know, everybody in there showed me love, man, bought me some drinks. We had a good time. And that Florida game, that was a big game. It seemed like it kind of changed the culture, obviously, of that team in that time period. So that was a huge game. I do remember that. And not only that we beat them, but just the way that we beat them, the fashion that we beat them down. It felt like something that had been building and building and building, and we finally let loose. But unfortunately, somebody got to be cut, and that's the game I got to cut.
There it is, man. Those are actually some good moments there, Cal, man. Good reasons by all the guys. And let's go ahead and bring on our other panel host, man. One of the nominees for tonight's Start Bench Cut. We're talking about my guy, CA. What's going on, CA?
I don't know what you're trying to do to me, Coach. I'm trying to keep my composure. You know, I ain't built for this. I don't got old, baby. I appreciate the Start Bench Cut. I ain't got no hate. You know, I got my own personal opinions about it, but, you know, I'm just glad to get the shout out, man. You know, I was lucky enough to have a chance to wear the red and black, and, you know, for it to turn out the way it did, I ain't going to complain, you know. But to go down my list, you know, how am I going to not have Georgia Tech as my starting game? You know, I hate that. I don't like that school. I don't like nothing about them. I don't like where they I don't like what they represent. They know it. I know it. It is what it is. You know, so, you know, that's just no surprise. I got the hobnail boot second. You know, great call. Anything that you get a chance to attach yourself with Larry Munson to is going to be a great time. And, yeah, Florida, that was a big moment for us in 97. We did break a streak. We did not wear black pants, Thad. We wore black pants in the bowl game, and then the red and black was worn the next year. Florida. And to answer Cal's question, after that game,
hold on. Shelby say has the statute of limitations run out for that night.
I don't even care no more. We might have slid by, you know, Atlanta Live might have had an appearance in there. I don't know if anybody been to Vegas nights. I think, you know, we got them wings at the city. You got to get wings at the city because I want to catch Georgia Tech down there. You know, and the Gold Rush was a little spot we touched base on. You know, it was a little meet up, but you know, we touch it all, baby. You know, I want the city to see me. You know, we did our thing.
Okay. You a statue.
Some of y'all was in the car.
Oh man, that's some good stuff, cool Cal. Good stuff, man. ATL in 2022, we was asking about the military. He's retired Army, and he's Dog fan forever, man. We appreciate the support, ATL, and Mike Free in the building. Mike Free in the building. Say go Dogs. All right, Mike. Shelby say Start Bench Cut. She going hobnail boot. She gonna bench that one. Start CA. And then cutting the Florida one, you know what I'm saying? So that's what she said. She said that Start Bench Cut is some BS, cool Cal.
That was rough.
That's from Shelby.
Shout out to Baron and all that, you know what I'm saying? I want to stay backstage.
Shout out to LaDonna B. She say Tech needs to touch Georgia's hymns for some luck. The Dogs go spin the block on the championship. Hey, I'm with it. I'm with all the technique.
I like it.
Hey, man.
I like it.
Before we dive into some more Tech hate, man, let's talk about this snoozer that we had on Saturday. A lot of it was due to the weather, I think. We can talk about the Kentucky recap. Kelin, you watched the game, man. You think it was all the weather is why we played the way we played, or we was just trying to survive in advance?
Hell no, man. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. One
Here we
thing
go.
I don't like, and this the coach in me, but most importantly, this is the captain in me too, man. You know, ain't no way in the hell you got to play down to your level. All right, we come out high against anybody else. We come out high in Tennessee. We shut them up. They disrespect them. They disrespect us. They make Tennessee #1 on a Tuesday or Wednesday right before we play them. We go out and have an unbelievable game on the defense side of the ball. Offensive ball, definitely just move the ball down the field. We hit all kinds of weapons, and then you come out against Kentucky, right? And I'm not, you know, I'm very respectful when it comes to, you know, teams, and you playing those certain teams that really not supposed to be on your level. But I think we have a hard time of playing down to our teams or to a certain team's level. And I don't really like that. You know, I think one thing about a national championship team is consistency, right? And I think one thing about being #1 or earning the spot #1, you have to be consistent week in and week out. Now, we do know that college ball, it's a minor drop-off, right? It's a minor drop-off because I think the game has really gotten really soft. Defense can't be as aggressive as they normally are. I think the offense side of the ball, they can pretty much do any and everything they want, and the refs don't mind showing that on a weekly basis. So I think sometimes we don't. The times that we're not aggressive is the time that we go out there or go to Missouri. Look what we did in Missouri. We had to play down to them because we felt like we couldn't be as aggressive. And I think that's the way with Kentucky, and that's just my overall view of college football right now. Obviously, people want to see points scored, you know, because the Vegas is always going to be on top, right? Everybody's gambling now. You got a lot of incentives as well on top of that. But I just think one thing about Georgia, I think we really, in order for us to go far in the playoffs and continue to be that top team week in and week out, I think we need to play a little bit more consistent and stop playing down to our talent level that we're going against.
Hey, I'm with a lot of that. JV, what's your thoughts on what Kelin had to say about this past Saturday snooze fest, though?
Man, you know, I actually agree with Kelin. One of the things that we talked about for the last couple, especially since last year during last year, was how the team came in with this worksman mentality. They stepped off the bus, they laced up them steel-toe boots, they put their helmet on, and they commenced in kicking the crap out of people, regardless of who stepped on the field. And I think that as you move into another year where you're undefeated again almost 2 years in a row prior to this game, undefeated in the SEC, you still have a lot to play for, but you've accomplished a lot where people were telling you wouldn't be as good, and you playing with a lot of young guys. I think it can become a little more difficult to put the entire team on a standard that you try to set as a coach. You got all these sophomores and freshmen out there playing. We lost all these guys to the league last year. You lost a defensive guy that we were really counting on, not only because of his play, but because of his tremendous leadership in Nolan. We lost him on that field, and you don't really have that guy, that workman guy outside of 29. I can't think of his name right now. But outside of 29, Chris Smith. Outside of Chris Smith out there that's really looked at as one of those leaders. I mean, you got guys who are emerging, you got guys who are coming. And then, of course, Kirby, he's the leader of the pack. But, again, you need those dogs out there to get folks in line. And I think that's kind of what is happening when we play these lower teams. And make it no, please understand that these teams suck. They ain't bad teams. Like, these teams suck. We should be beating them by 30 points minimum, but we're not. And I think top guys are taking this time off a little bit. They ain't as aggressive like Kelin talked about. They don't go out there with a mentality that I don't care who the guy lining up across from me is. I'm going to go out there and set my own standard on how I'm going to perform this day, this play, this moment, this time. And you have those moments where you just want to get out of there. You want to get out of there healthy. You want to get out of there safe. You want to get out of there with a W. And you want to move on to the next week because it's hard to get those guys consistently up for stuff like this. We ain't got to worry about that moving forward outside of this game right here. I don't think we're going to play lackadaisical because we just hate I mean, we absolutely just hate Georgia Tech. Kirby does not like Georgia Tech. Let's get it all straight. It's a difference from them and Kentucky. But past this, I think it's time for us to light them matches, and we're going to burn it all down with the next teams that come up. But, yeah, I don't like when we do this. I don't like when we don't play to our own potential.
I'm with that. I'm with what y'all said. Thad, you have a different take sometimes. Is there anything else that these two have missed on, or you have a different perspective on this game?
I mean, JB kind of made the argument and answered the argument too with everything said. One thing I will say is, I think Kelin had some valid points on where he said JB did well. But one thing I'm going to say is one thing you have to realize: the two guys we were all there. We're dealing with 18 to 21 and 22-year-old, other than now 29-year-old quarterback. I'm just playing 25-year-old quarterback. And coming off a year where we just won the national championship, it's hard to get these young guys to stay focused. I don't know if y'all realize we're on a 26 regular season winning streak. That's the longest in the nation. 26 regular season. Nobody else has done that. So we got something going here. We're not losing, and generally when we win, it's always by double digits. So we've kind of almost created our own monster. 8-0 back to back, which generally only happens every 12 to 14 years. Within the past 12 to 14 years, the last 3 times it happened. So what Kirby's doing, I'm amazed the way he's doing. He still got us on pace. As good as we were last year and as great as everything that we accomplished, this year has a chance to be even better because we can go undefeated. So I'm going to have to give Kirby credit for doing what he's doing, keeping these guys in line and still winning. I understand it ain't great all the time, but we still winning, and we winning from them.
All like y'all say, all good points, man. Somebody in the comments, D, shout out to D. D says Stetson has to stop forcing the ball. The lad at interception, Kenny was wide open in the flats. He was. I think sometimes, I think Stetson, like Thad alluded to, Stetson is older. I mean, much older. And sometimes I think he knows that, he like, man, we better than these dudes. And sometimes he just get bored. And he like, you know what, it's time to take a shot. And I don't like that he do that. But I think sometimes that's what it is. It's like, you know what? I really don't think they DB's that good. Let me try and see it. Because like on that interception, like I'm like, bro, like it was 2 people around Ladd anyway. Even if Ladd cuts the right way or the wrong way, whatever. I'm like, it's 2 people out there. So I think sometimes Stetson gets a little bored with the competition. And to what Kelin said, when we get up for the Tennessees and the Oregons or whoever, it's because Stetson know they got a little bit better talent maybe. I don't know. That's Coach, just my take on it. Go ahead, CA.
Coach, I think Stetson does understand he has a defense to lean on, and I think we struggle with playing down the team's level. I definitely agree with Kelin on that part, but I blame the coaches. I think we got a vanilla game plan, and because we were sloppy in the red zone, especially with our execution, Stetson may have been taking some chances unnecessarily, but, I don't feel like the players are playing down. I think the coaches are really limiting what we want to show our opponents. Ty Monken is up for the Broyles Award. He can do more than 16 against Kentucky. I don't care who or says what. So, I really feel like it was about getting out of there healthy. There is a lot to be desired on the execution side. We're young and extremely talented, though, so there will be some errors made. But, I do like the growth of the defense. We are bend, don't break on defense, but we just have to be better, I feel like, in the red zone. I think that's something that we're going to work towards, and hopefully Georgia Tech will be the first of the victim.
I want to talk. I'm glad you brought up red zone. I do have a question. All of y'all play, at the highest level or whatever, man. When coaches get down there on the goal line, and we can start with the defensive guys, Kelin and E-Rob, why is it that we must go goal line formations if we want to run the ball? Logic tells me if we spread the field and we just trust our guys to go one-on-one, then we got less people in the box that can make a play. Like both times we did first down and second down, the guy, the corner, number 15, coming from the end, unblocked, made the tackle. So I'm like, if he's outside lined up against a wide receiver, when we got somebody out wide, then we can just run. And I trust my tackles to beat they defensive line. So E-Rob, am I wrong, or is there an advantage that the offense has by going goal line formation?
Hell if I
Coach
know.
him up.
I know as a defensive dude, I appreciate this shit. I get a tackle, but I don't know. Hey man, I do. I don't know. I'm gonna let them do. I'm gonna let them answer that. But I do want to touch on. Because I agree with the guys said. I mean, us being up and down. But I kind of expected that coming into this season. We're just a young team, so that it's easy to say play to the standard. I get it. It's easy to say that. But that team last year had been through a lot. They had lost big games. They had their heart broken. So when you tell them to play to the standard, and it's only 12 or 13 opportunities, they understood that. And it's one of them things. Anyway, we don't even need to talk about that no more because that's not going to be a factor. No, it's not going to be a factor going forward because all these games that we're going to play going forward, they're going to be up for it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be up for it. They ain't going to be, you don't have to worry about it. So it's going to be like just what JV like. When we get off the bus, lace up them steel coat, them boots, and put it right in somebody's butt. That's what we're going to do going forward. So just look for that.
So, Kelin, as a coach, I agree with you. E-Rob. I don't think we're going to have to worry about focus going forward because, like CA said, we just hate Tech. And I think somebody else mentioned that, JV, that Kirby hates Tech. And then once you get to the SEC championship and the playoffs, we know what we're playing for. But, Kelin, back to the goal line because I don't want to struggle. We've struggled mightily over the years down there inside the 5. As a coach, is there an advantage to going heavy package, bringing everybody tight in, close on the goal line when you're trying to run the ball?
I think that's a good question because I think, a lot of people don't want to talk about the goal line efforts. And that is something about red zone. Red zone actually creates coaches have a spreadsheet, right? They have a spreadsheet of plays, down a distance. But when you get to the red zone, your shortage of your plays are so much smaller than if you're starting on a 20. One thing about why offenses choose to do certain things when it comes to red zone is because of discipline. Defenses are known not to have good eyes in the red zone because it's a matter of pressure because your back is against the wall. So offenses, when their philosophy, when they're thinking about game plan against Georgia, they're thinking about, all right, number one, what personnel can we get them in to allow them to make the worst mistakes, right? And so when teams, basically being at those formations, it's harder for our players to think. You got to make quick decisions. You got to make real fast decisions. So whether it's an offense side of the ball for us, we pick a certain formation because we feel like that defense is not gonna respond to the formation the right way. And then on the verse side of that, if you're on the defense side of the ball, on defense, Kirby does a good job with this adjusting. Right? He does a really good job of coaching. I'm talking about Kirby will coach your grandma in the stands and she looking wrong. You know what I'm saying? So Kirby's gonna do a really good job. Situations, gonna make sure those guys know those situations. He does a really good job of scouting other teams. He goes back. I'm telling you, what we do as coaches, we go back from a coach. If a coach was a head coach for 2 years, we'll go back to the third school that he was at previous and look at what he does in the down the distance on the goal line. So there's a lot of statistics that goes into those formations on the offense side of the ball. It's a lot of scouting that goes into what a defense look like and how they're going to respond to certain formations. But it goes down to this in the red zone. You got to make it very fast. You don't have a lot of time. But most importantly, who's going to be the more disciplined team in the red zone? And that's what it comes down. Who's going to be more disciplined? Are you going to make the right checks? Are you going to look at the right reads? Because you don't react 2 or 3 yards, right? If you're starting on the 20, you're on the 50-yard line, you got a little time to probably make a hesitant decision. Goal line don't work that way, and that's why offenses they play to a defensive weakness if their kids are not disciplined in the red zone. So that's the coach's philosophy on that, to answer your question.
Okay, I appreciate that, man. It's just sometimes, I know, like all of y'all, I'm frustrated because I know we got the personnel to score like CA more than 16, regardless of whether it was a downpour or what it was. I am glad we got out of there healthy. I don't think we had any injuries, and I like
Coach.
to see. Yeah,
Coach, I think really it's a personnel thing, just like Kelin said. I mean, It's Georgia right now. We don't have to trick. We lost those battles against Kentucky. That's rare when you look at the last 2 years because we've done a lot to put those heavy guys in the backfield. Jalen Carter don't miss a lot of blocks. He missed one. You know what I'm saying? You know, I didn't like to. I want to see downhill from McIntosh. I felt like he was running too high. You know, so we usually have had a lot of success. I think it's a personnel decision. I think our 11 ordinarily will be better than your 11 when we put you in a phone booth, and that's why, you know, you see Kirby doing that. But you know, I just want to see the points come out of it. That's my main goal, and we didn't get that. You know, I don't want to see all these field goal attempts.
Yeah, me either. There's a little bit too many field goals. Go ahead, Shawty.
I was gonna say to that question that you asked as well. You know, when the field is constricted, that changes your whole play calling when the field is constricted. So when you're on offense, it don't matter if you spread somebody out, because with the field being constricted, I can still keep more people in the box because I ain't got to worry about the field.
They don't
You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit of give both sides. You know what I'm saying? And one thing about us is, to go with what they said, we really have the personnel to really put you in the bind. Because when we big, we still fast and versatile. That's a problem that people have with us. But just to answer your question, when the field is constricted, it don't really matter if you spread people out or go tight, because you can always keep more people in the box to start the run, because you don't have to worry about the field, just to answer your question.
I got you. Yeah, I just was wondering, man, because I see, like, you know, I see a lot of teams, not just Georgia, like, you know, they get down there, they go heavy, they go tight, no wide receivers, and then they get stuffed. I'm like, well, if you just spread them out, now it's just your 5 on their 5 or whatever. But that makes sense, too, that you don't have to leave people out, you know, to help out on the edges, and you can still leave them in the box.
Safety playing flat-footed.
Yeah. Like another linebacker.
They ready to hit. Yeah, they ready to hit.
Yeah. I got you.
That's just like the corner, depending on where you at. You can tell the corner, stand on the fucking goal line. Do not move.
Like,
I don't care where he run. You do not backpedal. You do not come forward.
He knew how much field he had to work with. That he was able to gauge that. That wasn't long range. Keely made a great play and was able to track that ball down. So, you know, that was a short field interception.
Yeah. All right, we got a question. We'll do a little different. It is Tech Hate. We're gonna get to some Tech Hate. Malik Savage, what's going on, my man? He say he want to know why Georgia can't consistently sack the quarterback. I personally don't think. I mean, I'm not saying that we're not trying to sack the quarterback every time, but like, I think Will Muschamp is. Y'all in the comments, like, we got some spam. Y'all, let me block these people.
I mean, you're doing good. Coach, you got spam. You got haters. There we go. You ain't got haters.
We grown.
I think we grown. Yeah, I feel like Will Muschamp, and I've been watching him over his career. He feels like his DBs can cover, and he can just try to get pressure with 4. And we don't have really the guys like that up front 4. They not like the Devontae Wyatts and you know, the Jordan Davises. I don't think they can, like, they're not the guys to beat people one-on-one all the time. All they got to do is push the pocket on the quarterback, and Muschamp feel like his DB's gonna make the play, which most of the time we do. That's just my answer to the why we don't sack the quarterback consistently. Now, Will Muschamp, like he showed against Tennessee, he's like, I can blitz now if I want to. But I don't think that's his philosophy. It wasn't his philosophy at South Carolina, at Florida, as the DC at Texas, none of that stuff. So that's just what I think. I don't know if y'all got any different take on that.
I don't know, Coach. Let me just jump in real quick.
Go ahead.
I look. You know, we talked about it earlier this year, man. And I don't think you're right. We don't think we had those same type of guys up front. We get more pressure. We get more sacks when guys are being blitzed off the edge. As opposed to last year, we had a ton of sacks because we were running an A-gap blitz. And you still had to account for Wyatt and Jordan Davis with at least 3 people.
Yeah.
That ain't the case now. And it doesn't our blitz kind of looks sloppy to me. Like when we're running that A-gap blitz, we're running up each other's back. We're running dead into a guy who's sitting there waiting on us, which tells me that really they're trying to block us one-on-one. And they kind of are doing a decent job on the offensive side of the ball. I mean, it takes another guy to be able to block 88, man. When he hulk up, it's trouble on everybody. But outside of that, we really going one-on-one, and we have running backs, hence the reason why we come off the edge and get those sacks. I feel like the running backs are now being coached up that Georgia runs that A-gap blitz as good as anybody has ever run it in college football. They stepping up. And at Tennessee, you saw it happen twice when the running back stepped up. The guy came off the doggone the slot, got there before he could even turn around almost. I think we just had that issue where we don't have the guys that take up the extra blockers, and then teams have really tried to, they try to really cut off what we do well. They try to cut off the head of the snake for our defense, and so we got to find some other ways to be able to get there. Hence the reason why that slot has been as deadly as it's been for us. But we can't rely on that either, because I feel like if we don't get some one-on-one wins, that can be schemed against also pretty easily.
Yeah, and I think Dan Lanning's calling card was to blitz up the middle, and that's what he did a lot, because he tried to do it when they played us for Oregon too. But I'm with you. We don't have those guys up front to take up multiple blocks, and I think we had several people like that last year. Cool, Cal. I ain't heard your voice in a while, man. I need you to start this Tech Hate Week off right. Is there any way that you see Tech moving the ball on us on Saturday?
You always got a 1% chance. You always got a 1% chance. I won't put them at 0. They got a few athletes over there. I give them a 1% chance. But I think, going back to what we talking about the defense, and obviously comparing it to last year's standard of defense, and we got a lot of new guys this year. So I think that we also have to see what they do best. They haven't been in the trenches for 2 or 3 years like our previous team was. And so I think we're still trying to figure things out, but they're so talented and we see so much in them that we have the dip sometimes, we have the mistakes sometimes that we didn't necessarily have last year. And so that's why one game we may have 5 or 6 sacks, and the next 2-3 weeks we have 1 or 2 sacks. I just think that inconsistency is just the youth of the team trying to figure out what everybody does well. And once we're able to figure that out, they're going to be unstoppable. But as far as Tech, no, they shouldn't be able to move the ball. I mean, when we really think about it, if we were to go out there and play our A game or even our B game, we'll go out there and beat them by 5 or 6 touchdowns. But if we come out there with our C- game, our D+ game, we could have them stick around in the game. Maybe it'd be like a 31-17 game, a 31-14 game, just because we just come out and go through the motions. But if we come out and we play one of our better games, they shouldn't have a chance to do anything. I think we all know that.
All right, so E-Rod, what you want to see Saturday from the offense other than being healthy after the game?
Yeah, first, being healthy, I want to see Stetson make good decisions. I want to see the offensive line consistently move people. I want to see some receivers outside of Lab McConkey consistently get down the field and make some plays. That's what I want to see. So I have a short laundry list of things that I want to see. But really the main thing and the main thing I want to see is I want to see Stetson take control. Make great decisions. Let's start that now, and let's not go back down the other damn route. We know that ain't no good. Let's stay on the right path, make good decisions, and let's get this thing moving and keep it consistent. Stop making them dumbass decisions. You're 37 years old. Don't do it.
Chris Johnson in the building. What's going on, Chris? Shout it. Chris Johnson. He's got he said, I'm sure 13 gonna throw a few and the old line ain't worth a damn. Is that he said he knows Stetson gonna throw a few? Is that what he's saying?
Oh my
What'd you say, Shout it?
I hope he correct on that. With that being said, cause I just want to backtrack to your question you had asked the guys earlier, man. I really think it's really we just have a plethora of players, man. We got a wealth of players, and I think CA touched on it. Really sandbagging on defense. We seen what we can do when we send pressure. We're not really sending pressure like that. We're not going to put these young guys in a position where they don't need to be, and we dominate up front anyway. So I don't really think these coaches are really sandbagging for these big games when we really need them. We're not putting these guys in bad situations. Like I said, when we want to send pressure and get pressure, We get it. We literally beat somebody. Was it Vandy this year? 48 to something like that. We had one sack. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's about getting a man off his spot, speeding up his clock. You got to always get him down, get him off the ball, get him on the ground. Because sometimes when you speed up his clock and get him off his spot, he thinks it just ain't different. So I just wanted to answer that particular question, and I guess to what Chris Johnson said, I apologize right now. I don't know who you are right now, but whatever you said, I'm rolling with it. It sounded good.
All right, man. Like, hey, listen, this is part of the show, man. Y'all make sure y'all get some questions if y'all got other questions for the panel, man. I will let CA get in here because I know his affinity for hating Tech. And I know we might have talked about this last year, but hey, CA, why did you choose Georgia over Tech? Because I know you had a chance to go there.
Man, you know, I went to a camp at Georgia Tech going into my senior year as a young high school lad. And I wore my favorite football shirt. And, you know, I'm at the camp, just like all the other campers, and we're in the wide receiver line. They send me on the deep ball. They send me on the deep ball. They send me on the post route. Or I get the post corner. They send me back on the deep ball. Now, I've had 9 straight deep balls. I get back to the line, and I'm dog tired, trying to figure out why they keep sending me deep. Everybody's laughing. Coach walks over to me, Georgia Tech assistant, and he tells me I'm going to learn not to wear that little ugly shirt. The little ugly shirt I had on was my favorite football shirt, my UGA shirt. I ain't think nothing of it. I'm just wearing a shirt.
You're bringing your limb back to pass out there.
Hey, man, from that day forward, I ain't got nothing good to say about that place down on whatever street it's on. I can't stand none of it. But I tell you what, I'm looking forward to this week, man, because you know what I know? This crowd is going to demand success. This is a home game. You know, I don't care how the players feel about it, but when you walk on that field, the crowd going to let you know what the temperature is like, and you got to get out there and perform. You know, this is a precursor to the playoffs. I look for these coaches to quit sandbagging. It's time for Stetson to get rolling. Yeah, that defense is unknown and young, but it's time for us to learn these names, and we need to see that consistency Kelin was talking about. You know, this is a time for us to step up. So I anticipate success. It's an early kick. There's no excuse. You know, this is really getting ready to go to work. This is when the season begins, and there's no need to wait. I think these coaches understand that. They all know this is what they get paid to do. We need to go ahead and close this door properly because you can't warm up that car when it gets too late. So I'm looking for everything to get rolling. I need to see a dynamic offense, a strong defense. I don't want Tech to score any points, you know, and I don't think I'm the only one that feels that way. So whether it's the staff or the fans, we're going to demand success this Saturday.
That's right, and you're right. I think this is a good tune-up to get to those 3 games that Shawty's always referencing. Kelin, being from Florida, man, and not really growing up in the Tech Georgia hate, how long did it take you to acclimate to hating Tech once you got on campus?
It's a good question.
Great question.
Man, great question, bro. I'm gonna tell you right now, it was. I had no idea it was like the way it was, bro. I'll be honest with you. I remember my first day on a Monday when we had Tech, Thanksgiving week, and you know we had practice, and you know Coach called everybody up to the to take a knee after practice, and he was like, "Look, guys," he said, I purposely haven't talked about Tech because I don't want y'all. He said, I purposely don't want to talk about Tech because I brought somebody from the old school to tell you how much we hate Tech around here. Cause Rick walked off, right? All you see is the old white guy coming down the hill from the locker rooms, coming straight on down the hill. This man had a white bag in his hand. All right, he walked up to the team. Everybody like, you know, boys looking to the right, like, what's going on, coach? You know, what we doing? Next thing you know, he reached down in the bag, took a Georgia Tech hat out the bag. This dude had lighter fields, put lighter fluid to it, took out a match in his pocket, and set that Hey, I was like, what the hell? Man, boy, I ain't never been so so fired up in my life after I seen that, man. I knew it was real when that dude set that hat on fire in front of the whole team. I'm talking about the 8 out there, all the kids was out there. I'm talking about it's Thanksgiving week.
Oh, man.
It's just us on campus. Everybody knows, so man. He got away with murder that day, man. We could have blown up. Nobody would have known. I'm being real, man. So for being in Florida, I automatically said, you know what? Let me just do my damn job. Let me run out there and run on this damn kickoff. Let me just do what I need to do as a teammate. So I don't have to let my boys down. You know what I mean? Because, hell, I was playing Red, Blue, and Thomas Davis. I knew I wasn't fucking finna play. But guess what? I knew this, though. I knew I had an opportunity. I had an opportunity to, to contribute and play special teams. And that's why, I had a passion the way I had a passion. I was like, if I get an opportunity to get on that kickoff, I'm going to get me some of that guy Georgia Tech and me. So that's just me. But
I remember that 30.
To answer your question on the other side, I really want to see us get back to the ball. All right, I come from a good era of running backs and how we control the in the football. And I have not really seen that from us. I know I've seen spurts of it, but I truly want to see us run the ball. Last week I was highly disappointed, and it's 3rd and fucking short, y'all. 3rd and 1, y'all. How many times they stopped this? They stopped like 3-4 times in 3rd and 1 in the run game. And I'm talking about, y'all know we got some big time tackles and tackles up front. And I was just shocked and surprised. I know the past few games that we had, we haven't played a pretty good on offense or defense. Because on defense, they always play well, in my opinion. But on offense, we don't play as good as we need to because I think the boys are just not fired up. Those night games, they're sitting around all day. You know what I mean? They tired, But so speaking to the Missouri and the Kentucky game, there was night games, and I don't think we was just ready to play. I think it was kind of tired. But I think Georgia Tech, I really just want to see us run the ball, get them running confidence going into LSU. Because I'm telling you right now, LSU gonna come ready to play, dog. They gonna come ready to knock them little dudes' helmets off, bro. And they need to build a bond with the old linemen of trust. You know what I mean? Stay behind them tackles, stay behind those guards, stay behind those centers, and just run the football. Because I think we can be the best running team in America, bro, if we just stay consistent in the running game and don't go away from it. And that's what I want to see at Georgia Tech.
I like that.
There it is, man. I'm going to let some of y'all get some more Georgia Tech hate off your chest. But right now, we're going to go to E. Rob and Shawty. Y'all up. Shawty, you up first, all right?
Lose the man.
Ain't got no quarters in the man.
Did we lost him? Oh, there he is.
Hey, man, you got to get up out there, man. Tell your wife let you out the basement, dog.
Yeah.
Say, Jay, you here? All right, so KJ, man, I ask everybody who come on the show, man, this same particular question. Once again, man, before I get into the question, I appreciate you coming on the show, man. You're a great dude, man. Ever since I've known you as a younger pup, you've been good in the community. You've been good as a family guy. You've been a great guy, man. So I'm happy to have you on the show. It's always good to
Thank you.
have people from other classes to come help fill the gaps in with some of these dog stories that we have. All right. So coming out of high school, man, we were all several different stars, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 4-star, all that. We were the man coming out of high school. So when you got to Georgia, what player you saw said, hey, man, I got to get shit together. I got to get in this weight room. I got to learn this playbook. I got to do whatever I got to do to get on this field. What player inspired you to get better?
Well, I'm gonna be real with you, man. Like, I just to I'm setting the record straight. A lot of people don't know that, man. They called me the sleeper of the class. So I was 0 stars when Georgia offered me a scholarship. I wasn't on top rivals. I wasn't a man. I just worked my ass off during the state playoffs, and we just continue to keep winning and winning. And the only reason I'm here on this phone talking with y'all and on this show talking with y'all is because of Sean Jones. Sean Jones was a junior, and Sean
Shout out.
left early. But he made, shout out to Big Home. That's the only reason I'm here, man. And every time I see him to this day, whether we at a restaurant or we out or we just at a tailgate or watching the game somewhere, I tell him, hey, man, I appreciate you and I'm thankful for you because, bro, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you. So that just so you know that. So coming from Florida, yeah, we had a lot of big time people just going to different schools, but I got lost in the shuffle because I played quarterback. I ran the option. My junior year at a different high school. And what happened was, man, I got cut my junior year from the basketball team. And shoot, man, the coach told me I was too short to play varsity. I'm like, what you mean? Varsity? I played varsity all summer long. You're going to tell me I'm too short? I'm winning dunk contests up in LaGrange, Georgia with the team. So I was like, man, the heck with this. I knew I had one last shot, to make it to D1. So I said, you know what? I'm going to go play safety at this other school, the neighborhood school, Mainland High School, which is the same school Vince Carter graduated from. And shoot, man, we ended up we won every game besides one. We lost to Miami Chaminade, but we ended up winning the state championship, first ever in Volusia County. And that's how I got to Georgia. Sean left early, and it was late recruiting. They was like, look, we need to bring in a safety. And one of my high school coaches that had a relationship with Coach Rucker, who was the running back coach at Georgia at the time, they flew down to see me play. And they was like, look, y'all got to see this kid out of Daytona because I love special teams. I just love running down on the field. I love doing a punt return. I was just selfless, man. And when Sean got the lead,
when you was in, who the starting safety when you came in?
That was 2003. So Sean left in 2003. The very next year, I came in. I took that scholarship when I was there with Greg Blue, Thomas Davis, Trey Battle. So that was that era, man. So that was the reason why I ended up at Georgia. But when Georgia offered me, they gave me 2 stars.
Oh,
okay. They gave me 2 stars, and that was the last scholarship Georgia offered that year. And shit, I came in left the defensive captain. So I just had that chip on my shoulder, man. And one of the players that I always looked up to is Thomas Davis. TD was just one of those guys where he stayed in his zone. He was just an unbelievable freakish athlete. He was just one of those guys that always put arms around me. Let me know when I wasn't playing up to my level. He always let me know, hey, keep doing what you're doing. You're gonna see that field. Just keep busting your ass on special team. Your time gonna come. So TD was one of those guys for me, man. I'm forever thankful for my DB family.
Appreciate that, man. Shout out to Thomas Davis too, man. We need to see if we can get him on the show. This ain't the first time.
Man, one time for them DBs. I just got to go ahead and put that out there. Hey, man, Kelin, man, let me tell you, I watched you play at your whole time at Georgia, and the one thing I can tell you that I got the ultimate respect for is the one word that stands out to me is work. This dude came to work. You know what I'm saying? You put in work and you always came and had that enthusiasm. And boy, I appreciate it. I'm sure Dog Nation appreciates it. So with that being said, this is what I ask all my guests, man. We all love Georgia. We all, blood, sweat, and tears tried to win that championship for Georgia. We all came up short. We finally got it done. Done. Where were you that night, and what was your reaction?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I was actually home in Daytona Beach, Florida. Man, I went home to Florida. I would say, was it like the beginning of football season last year? Man, I was waiting on my house to be built here in Atlanta, and I was just in the neighborhood, man, with my brothers. A lot of my partners I grew up with, man. It was actually a special moment. A lot of them boys were gambling. They was rooting for damn Alabama, and shoot, I sat there with my bottle. I sat there with my bottle next to me on the couch, man. And it was just like watching the gates of heaven open up, bro. You know what I mean? When Ringo caught that pick and took it back, man. Bro, I'm telling you right now, man. I was just so excited to us finally get over. Most importantly, being a coach there as well, being a player there, having my degree from there too as well. It meant the world to me because I felt like it was a part of me. I recruited some of those guys. You know what I mean? I helped them, make those decisions, and for them to go on that field and actually, go out there and accomplish a goal that you came to University of Georgia to do. Like that's what you come here to do, and for them to accomplish that, man, it made me feel to be a proud alumni, but most importantly, it made me feel great to be a part of it because I helped some of those guys make that decision to be a Georgia Bulldog.
That's what's up. Okay, real quick before we move on. So I'm from Florida too, so I didn't know nothing about this damn Georgia Tech rivalry either. But man, my freshman year, I got red shirted. I'm hanging with James Cornelius. Shout out to Goldie in Atlanta.
Goldie.
Know how that went down. Know how that went down.
Off the rip.
Don't ask me about that. But anyway, let's just ask me about the game. So that was the year. I don't know if y'all remember this. We had a big ass brawl before the game.
Man.
Yeah, so it was a big brawl, big nod, big I don't know, it was a big brawl. It was crazy. That day, I was like, man, damn Tech, all them damn nerves. You'll kick their ass next time. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't like them since that day. And that's my story. Anyway.
Hey, man, I got my offer that night. That was a great game.
Oh, my God.
I did. Coach Goff was still at the stadium 30 minutes after the fight. And he calling around passing out offers, man. You talking about crunk? I needed to be a part of that.
All right, man. I love it, man. Tech Hate Week, man. So we're going to get on to some predictions. Somebody in the comments, I didn't know the spread was 35. Is that correct, Shawty?
That sounds about right. That sounds right.
I thought, bro.
Come on, man. Georgia Tech.
Hey, Coach, I got a question. I got a question for Kelin.
Hey, what's up?
Kelin, talk to me about the safeties. I mean, as a guy that played the position, you and Rob know better than anybody. I want you to give me your opinion on Malachi Starks and Chris Smith, a young pup and a veteran back there leading us on to the SEC championship. Give me your evaluation on what we have at the safety position from what you see.
Let me give you my evaluation on Starks first. I think Starks is probably he's gonna be an All-American for he leaves. Okay, he is probably one of the most dynamic, linky, pure athletes that I've just watched and seen. I think the kid can do so much for our defense, but I think right now what they're doing is they're using him for what we need him to do for right now. You know, we talked about this earlier where we don't have that same defensive line that we did last year, right? I mean, you had Walker on the edge, you had Quell on the edge, you had number 4, you had 8 in the middle, you had Davis in the middle. I don't care who you was on a defensive back, bro. You gonna get some interceptions you was on that defense last year.
Ball coming your way
because our front seven.
Yep.
But to answer your question, I think the man has a lot of upside. He can play the nickel position very well because he's very good. He knows what leverage is. He can go inside as a linebacker in the star position, like an outside safety, or he can also go out on the corner position too as well. But now, like they had him in the corner position early in the year. Now you see the guy back there at safety because he's starting to figure it out. He's starting to understand range, what range is, covering ground. He probably learned how to read routes and also trying to really learn how to read the quarterbacks in the SEC. Because quarterback play has changed so much through the years. True. This is a guy that can play all 5 positions on the back end, and I think they just need to really find his niche, so he can put great film out there, so he can change his family life for the rest of his life. So on the outside, I think Smith is very good. He's one of those leaders, one of those guys that coach is going to say, hey, we need a turnover, we need this, we need to stop. He can communicate that across the board to a D lineman and to one of his peers in the safety position. I think Smith is definitely going to play on Sundays because I think he's one of those team guys. He's one of those guys you can put him anywhere. And he can play cover 2 very well. He can come up
stabilizer,
and make open field tackles. Really like that. I really like that from those 2 safeties that we have right now. I think our safety play needs to continue to get better because we're gonna go into the playoffs, right? SEC championship playoffs, and we really need those guys to be thinking with their big head, okay? Their big head, not thinking about making a play. We need to think about making great play in the football. So I think we got some good safeties here to come do a better job, more safeties, more agile guys that can be interchangeable like stuff.
I appreciate that. Thanks.
Oh yeah, man. That was some good knowledge right there, man. I think E-Rod's been yelling about Starks since the beginning of the season as well. So
preseason.
Yeah, preseason. Yeah, E-Rod was on. Yeah, first live show. E-Rod was on him.
You could just see it. He's a special talent. He's not just he ain't just a regular kind of cat, man. He's a different kind of cat. So I'm glad.
Agree.
Yeah,
no doubt.
JV, start us out on these predictions, man. We 35-point favorites at home. It might be 60 to 70% rain chance. What you got? We covering the spread. What we doing?
I think we're gonna run it up on them, Coach. 42-6. I don't think they're gonna score a touchdown, but I think they might grab 2 field goals, and Kirby's gonna play it safe. We're gonna get our starters up out of there early. I feel like we're gonna have our defensive guys on point. I don't think Tech got a lot to offer, and we're just gonna get out of there and head on into the SEC championship game with concentration on our mind and payback in our pockets.
Yeah, I'm with you on that,
All
JV.
right.
Thad, what you got on that 35-point spread, dog?
Oh man, I like 31.
I can see that too. Like JV, kind of like JV said, like getting them starters out early and staying healthy. E-Rod, what you got on it, dog?
Short and sweet. Hey, JV, somebody that watched the show said they love your JV-ism. So I think you just gave one just a minute. What'd you say? We got revenge in our pockets. That what you said? Okay, what the hell?
Hey, man, concentration on our mind and concentration that we got the revenge in our pockets. I don't know where it come from, but it come from
never heard of
Some T-shirts made, folks.
Hey,
JV is in my pocket, baby. I'm just letting you know.
And money in your pocket.
All right, so real quick, 41-6, man. I think we beat the brakes off and move on.
Cool Cal, what you got, dog?
I think we're gonna be kind of vanilla again, man. I think something like 35-10. Just come out there, get a victory, man, and let's move on to the SEC championship.
I'm with it. Kelin, what you got, man? What you think that? Give us a score prediction, man.
Man, I'm going 35-0. I think we're gonna get a shot. I think it's gonna be dynamic in the beginning. Give them something to cheer for the early game. Get it over with. But I think we're gonna go ahead and put those third and fourth stringers in, get some confidence, man, because I think we're gonna need a lot of people to play in this playoff time. Y'all know how Kirby is when it comes to playoffs and SEC championship. You might see some names you ain't seen all year, which is really good. And that's I think that's our MO. I think it's gonna be our MO moving forward. Playing a lot of guys, but playing guys going on that productive. So yeah, man, that's my prediction.
I'm gonna go like Kelin. I'm gonna go like Kelin with the goose egg. I think it's gonna be 31-0. I think we're gonna get in, get it early too. I think it's gonna be over in the first half, and then Kirby gonna kind of salt the time away. I'm gonna let CA bring this on home with. I know, hey, you got to because you
I ain't got nothing. I ain't got nothing special, Coach. You know what I like? I like the song y'all singing. I got 38-0 written down here on a piece of paper. And that's written, you know. I think everybody bring your popcorn, baby. It's gonna be a party Saturday. Enjoy yourself.
Hey, there it is. Like JB say, man, we got revenge in our pockets, and that's what we got. After we take care of Tech, we go take it out the pocket and serve it.
Revenge in our pockets and money on our mind. I like it.
Hey, that's a shirt, baby. T-shirt. Hold up, Mega Gate, baby. I see you there.
Hey, Mega Gate. Beat me to the trademark office.
Yeah. So the world is yours has been in here. The couple, I guess he's gonna put it until I mention it. He said GT is gonna be in this game. Tell me one valid reason why you think that this is gonna be like that. The world is yours. I mean, what have you seen from either of these teams to suggest that we let Georgia Tech be in this game outside of the kickoff?
That's where he got a degree from. That's where he got his degree from. He got to say that.
Hey, that's all right. Tell him my cash up wide open. My cash up wide open. Cause he really.
I hope
he really believe that.
There go your boy again. There go your boy again, Shawty. There your boy again, Chris Johnson.
I apologize. My bad, CJ. I didn't realize who you were, but my phone went ham when I said I didn't know who he was, so I apologize.
He said you got treated in that.
Hey, he like shouting, get on YouTube, don't know nobody. Like, what's going on?
Hey, man. Oh, my God. I don't know him.
Hey, man,
Hollywood.
Hey, man, I just want to say thank you to Kelin, man. I appreciate you taking some time to come and hang with the dogs,
man. Appreciate you, brother.
Yeah.
Hey, man, we all dogs. Hey, you always welcome to come back, jump in the conversation, man. We're going to keep doing this thing, man. We're going to roll Tech this weekend. It is what it is. I know it sounds cocky, but hey, when you get to that place when you the elite team, you got to be able to be the elite team with the elite expectations and still play elite on the field. I don't think Tech is going to stand a chance on Saturday. That's just me. So,
I thought your mom was going to be a pushover.
Oh, we win. We're going to be in the dance. I don't care how many we win by.
Hey, there it is, man. Anybody else got any closing Tech Hate Week thoughts before we get out of here?
See, tell them how to spell Tech, baby.
Hey, Coach, I got a sharing moment, man. I just got to release. I got to release the reason why I hate Tech beyond anybody. I grew up an Alabama fan, man. Let me just tell you about this. I grew up an Alabama fan, being from Alabama, so obviously I hated Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn. But how is it that I hate Tech more than all of them, man? I'm a young cat coming out of Anniston High School, and I feel privileged just to be able to visit some of these schools. I got a guy like Larry Bowie who graduated out of my high school, who went to Shy Guy, who was one of the best guys that I ever seen play at our high school, and he played at this squad over there in Athens, Georgia. So, my coach took me to experience what Athens was, and that kind of opened my eyes to the possibilities of college. At that time, I only wanted to play high school ball because high school was bigger than anything to me, man. Those guys, they walked on water.
I got you.
And so I'm getting recruited, and it was great. It was a great experience. I love the fact that I was able to go to these schools and, get shown around by these great hosts and hostesses, which made everything even that much more great. But it came down to decision-making time, man. And, I really didn't know what to do because I had heard from Georgia. That was right in the middle of a coach transition between Golf and
Coach Dunning.
That's right. Thank you, Sean. And Dunning. So I ain't heard from him in a couple of weeks. So I goes to Georgia Tech on a visit. And of course, I'm from Alabama, and they take me to all the great historical landmarks that CA kind of touched on earlier.
City.
That one. Along with
they knew how to recruit. Go ahead.
Hey, listen. We ran by Nikki's. She was doing fine. We went by the Gentleman Club. Everybody was dapper. We literally hit maybe like 3 or 4 more. I was amazed. I was like, I'm good. Let me come here, because I ain't heard from Georgia in 3 weeks. And so I get home and I get a call from Coach Drake. We all done talked about Coach Drake before, man. And Coach Drake, he said, listen, he said, I'm apologize, but I want you to come up here. I heard you committed, but I want you to really see what we doing and what we trying to do up here. And so Coach Drake made sure that I got to campus for that visit. And when I touched down on that campus in Athens, man, I ain't never felt nothing like that before. It felt like I walked through my mama's house, through the front door. I felt like I hugged my cousins, and it felt like, my family was sitting there ready to greet me. When I first walked through the is that me?
That's you. Ooh, JB, that's you. We had to kill that right quick.
Yeah, that was a long ass story anyway.
Hey, Coach, Coach did something.
It wasn't me. I'll be honest with y'all.
Coach got that secret button. Like, B, come on, where the story going, B?
Listen.
Hey, Georgia Tech was finna do him wrong. They were just finna do him wrong.
They were just finna do. Listen, man. I'm gonna tell you, man. All right, man. Oh God. Oh my God. But listen. This is how we go. This is how we're gonna close the show. When I tell y'all, I think JB said something earlier about Shelby waking up petty at 6 a.m. If you look up petty in the dictionary, Shelby be right there waving at you when you look at it. Cause so when my man The World Is Yours said that Georgia Tech was gonna be in the game, man, Shelby and then Shawty said he probably graduated from Tech. Shelby said, I doubt he graduated from Tech. It's the spelling. Because he spelled Ghana wrong, bro. I'm like, like, come on, man.
Shout out to Jasper Saints, man.
Oh.
Hey, Jap didn't farmer. For real, man. Wait a minute. Jap didn't farmer.
Oh, God. Let me get... All right. Let me get...
Yeah, we got to get you on the show. Yeah, we got to get you on the show.
That's right.
Okay, hey, man, I couldn't believe they did that to me, man. I'm just sitting there like, what in the world? Hey, that wasn't funny.
Hey, man, that was a good ass story. That was a good ass story, man.
Show ass out the backstage.
Hey, it wasn't me, dog. It wasn't me, man.
My mic ain't made no noise all night. My mic ain't made noise all night. You grinding. Hey, boy.
They had to play the wrap-up music on them, man. Oh, my God.
That was tough, yeah.
Hey, man, shout out to Jasper Saints, man. Shout out to Jasper. Jasper, we got to get you on the show, dog. Oh, my God.
Got to have him.
Hey, that was a good laugh, bro. Hey, E-Rob, you stupid. You stupid for that one, bro. Hey, listen, again, man.
Got no stories?
No, story time over.
Okay. All right. Like I say, hey, thanks, Kelin, again, man. Shout out for coming to Kick It With The Dogs, man. For the rest of the panel, JV, E-Rob, Shawty, CA, Cool Cal, and all the dogs in the comments. Appreciate y'all support, man. Hey, it's Tech Hate Week. Let's go out there and do what we got to do. Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Oh, man.